Hey guys, so we have a heavy Saturn influence going on this weekend, very present in the dynamics playing out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is telling me that this may be a bit of a more sobering weekend. We may be taking things sort of seriously, and I feel like this is a transitional weekend of energy that we have going on right now as well. On Friday, we start the weekend with the moon in the sign of Aquarius, sort of wedged right in between Pluto and Saturn, and also building into a square with Uranus. So there may be some awakenings or realignments or just major shifts that are sort of underway this weekend as well. We also have Venus moving into an exact square with Saturn and Aquarius. This is going to be happening like overnight Saturday into Sunday. So really characterizing the energy playing out Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, we are also going to have that moon in Aquarius forming an exact conjunction to Saturn retrograde. So another very like Saturn Saturday that we have coming up this weekend. So we have a lot of Saturn vibes going on, this Venus square Saturn we need to talk about, and let's just jump into the charts, you guys, see how this energy is playing out this weekend and what perhaps we can anticipate in our very Saturn weekend. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Friday, June 17th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological energetic overview update of the weekend. In this report, I'm going to be talking about the energy for Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th, and Sunday the 19th. Happy Father's Day, all of you fathers out there, and just help us to understand what is coming at us energetically this weekend and maybe some of the best ways to navigate this energy. So let's start with Friday, you guys. What we have going on Friday. As I said, on Friday, we have a moon that is transiting the sign of Aquarius, and it is going to be coming to a midpoint between Saturn and Pluto, both retrograde in the sky right now. And we may be coming out of a bit of maybe some more intense energy. There was a Pluto moon conjunction yesterday. When we have the moon in a conjunction to Pluto, this can be some really like deep, powerful emotions that come up that is pushing for some type of transformation and honestly like emotional empowerment in some type of way. And we also had a Venus North Node conjunction yesterday, which may have been in some way like aligning us with experiences or situations or people or interactions that were somehow reawakening us to the truth of the value or the resources or the potential that we hold inside of us in some way or another. Or could it just been providing like some more pleasant, pleasurable experiences? When we have Venus North Node conjunction, this could also have been like some very divine alignments or divinely timed connections or interactions, encounters coming into play as well. But there was likely something that went on yesterday that changed how we felt in some type of a way about our own value or our own self-worth, with the North Node Venus in the sign of Taurus coming together, and also the moon in Capricorn forming the trine to those planets and the conjunction to Pluto. So something along those lines may have happened yesterday that sort of has us in this period right now of going through some internal transformations, some internal shifts. I feel like this weekend might be a little bit transitional in this internally transformative process that we're going through right now as well. Friday energy, I feel like, is deeply restructuring and transforming the nature of our psyche and of our emotional body. We have the moon, as I said, in Aquarius, sort of like the early to mid degrees of Aquarius, wedged in between both Saturn retrograde and Pluto retrograde, the only two retrograde planets right now. Pluto in the end of Capricorn, Saturn in the end of Aquarius, and then the moon like right in the middle there. The moon, our emotions, in the sign of Aquarius already. This is talking about, you know, really getting into an authentic alignment with our emotions. And then with Saturn there retrograde, this is restructuring, and with Pluto there retrograde, this is that like inner transformation. So, you know, with the moon in between, this could be also more of like an intense emotional experience, like feeling sort of the pressure in one way or another. And that may be what is leading to this restructuring or this transformation. But with the moon and Saturn this weekend, this is also an emotional maturation that is underway, and sort of like just taking things more seriously on the emotional level as well. So we may, and it can also be a little bit more emotionally detached, emotionally isolated, emotionally cold, just because we are sort of taking things more seriously and really like thinking critically about the nature of our connections and stuff as well, especially, and I will talk about this much more as we get through this report, with Saturn in Aquarius coming into the square, or Venus actually in Taurus coming into the square with Saturn in Aquarius, because Venus is moving much faster than Saturn is. So Venus is technically making this square happen right now. But yeah, restructuring and transformation going on deep emotional levels with the moon in between these two planets. And Aquarius, where the moon is, this is a sign, it is originally ruled by Saturn, but it is also ruled by Uranus, according to more modern astrology. And Uranus right now is also in the sign of Taurus. Taurus and Aquarius, you guys, these are both fixed signs. And when planets are in signs of the similar modality to each other, they're forming a square. So we have a fixed square between Aquarius and Taurus that is building up today as the moon transits the sign of Aquarius and comes to the same degree in Aquarius where Uranus currently is in Taurus. And Uranus is a ruler, again, of the sign of Aquarius. And so there's also likely to be this like tension building throughout the course of the day that may feel us or have us really wanting to like rebel against something or like revolt against something that we feel like is keeping us out of alignment with our authentic truth or with our ability to pursue like our goals and go in the direction that we want to go right now and recreate ourselves along the lines that we want to form our future, essentially, as well, with this Saturn Aquarius dynamic. Saturn forms and structures, lays foundations for things, and Aquarius is the sign associated with and ruling the future. So, you know, there may be some interference today that we feel like is going on. This is also like power and control dynamics could be a real thing that we are dealing with, struggling with, encountering, that is creating challenges for us that we feel like we need to break free from or break away from or break through in some way. And the energy as it's playing out today with the moon in between, again, Saturn ruling control and Pluto ruling power, like power and control dynamics. And it's also like Pluto right now ruling this power retrograde, you know, this breakdown of power as well in the sign of Capricorn, which is also ruled by Saturn. This could also be like some breakdowns in like authority or rules or regulations or the structures that have been existing for a very long period of time. This Capricorn Saturn vibe, also the Lord of Time, the Lord of Karma, that have been like persisting for a long period of time, that is sort of breaking down and crumbling right now as well as a result of some type of an awakening that is going on and some type of an emotional shift, transformation, metamorphosis that is happening within the deepest like recesses of the psyche and stuff as well, with this specific energy playing out. I'm of course also reading this chart in the context of our overall transition into the age of Aquarius right now and the bigger cosmic blueprint that has been unfolding, you know, throughout this year with our new moon in Aries and, you know, last year as well. Like, I'm not looking at the chart in a microcosm, like I'm looking at it juxtaposed to the macrocosm and what else, like the overall context of everything else and the times that we're in right now as well. So, you know, we are in a very transformational period of time right now, you guys. We are shifting ages. We are transitioning paradigms. We are moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So there's this generalized breakdown in the matrix of the past that represented that previous paradigm and the power structures and dynamics that it existed within as well. And so I feel like today is sort of a day where the microcosm is like initiating, or not today, but like this weekend generally. I mean, this whole period of time we're in generally, but like even down to the more minute like days and this series sequence of days that we have playing out this weekend, I feel like is playing a more significant role in this sort of inward shift, internal awakening, like the subconscious, like deeply psychic, like deepest parts of our psyche, like realignments that are underway right now as a result of the energy and the frequencies and just everything that's playing out and coming together. So anyways, in terms of this weekend, like these power and control dynamics, like I feel like there could be a highlight on that, like shifting structures, like the structures that we have been existing within in terms of power and control hierarchies in our lives, and even, you know, inside of us internally, like the inner voice and like what we have and have not felt is possible for ourselves, like and the structures that we have been existing within along those lines as well, and the things that have been keeping us out of being able to activate our potential and really move along a trajectory that can help us like truly like make our destiny and our soul's purpose happen in this life and in this reality. Like that is where we're being called to at this point in time. And we need to shake ourselves out of these patterns and these limiting structures of the past, whether they've been going on internally within us or, you know, actually in our external environment. So these type of things I feel like are sort of up for restructuring and transformation this weekend and in this energy as well. Overall, you guys, this weekend is sort of maybe like a more challenging weekend. Like we may be navigating some more challenging experiences or some like roadblocks or just some things that we're struggling through a little bit this weekend, but ultimately it's going to bring us to a much better place. And these are like some valuable experiences that we're going through right now. And also, you know, Venus in North Node, we're coming out of that activation yesterday, like valuable alignments, like valuable things coming together in certain ways that promote our growth in alignment with our authentic truth. The Taurus themes as well, where the North Node and Venus, ruler of Taurus, made this alignment yesterday. But power and control dynamics, there could be the sense of resistance, tension, frustration that is sort of building throughout the day, not only because, you know, we have the moon wedged in between Saturn and Pluto, but also coming into the square with Uranus. It's like this pressure, we may be feeling this pressure on us in one way or another, but is simultaneously causing this resistance or this buildup of like pressure and tension that is like causing us to take some type of action or make some type of decision or just follow some type of impulse or something that shakes things up and changes things, maybe like drastically with the Uranus vibes, shocks, surprises, the unexpected, but for the purpose of righting things and rectifying things being at play in the square today as well. This is also though representing to me like a collective awakening that is underway, and that is what we're breaking through into. It's like whatever resistance or whatever pressure or whatever, you know, we're like more having to overcome or struggling with at this point in time, it's actually pushing for some type of awakening as well. Uranus ruling awakening, and these internal transformations and this internal restructuring that may be going on, you know, is part and parcel to the awakening process as well. Now, these things, these issues, these tensions, these frustrations, like they may be specifically pertaining to like the Taurus themes, like finances, resources, material comforts, material pleasures, food, supply chains, like projects that we're working on, partnerships, financial dynamics that we have going on with other people, the ways, you know, that we sort of like use our energy to create material comfort and security in our external world, like so therefore like jobs and stuff like that. And also this could be implicating like the goals, the plans, and the things that we want to build for the future. These Taurus and Aquarius themes, like, and our authenticity and our ability to like align with, embody, express, and utilize that to tap our potential. Like these are the type of things that we may be experiencing, you know, frustrations or issues with today, feeling like, you know, suppressed or held back or overpowered or controlled. Like again, these power and control dynamics as well that may be a part or a feature of this energy. So that is sort of like along the lines of what we might be able to expect in terms of the areas or the themes that are coming up with the resistance that we have going on today. But there's also a really beautiful aspect that is playing out along on the side of this day, and that is the sun, you guys, in Gemini coming today into an exact opposition to the galactic center, which is located at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. We have the sun today at 27 degrees of Gemini. So this is actually, you know, the position of the earth, always in a polar opposition to the sun, what's happening on the ground, the state of things on the ground today, the degree of the galactic center. That Sabian symbol is the sculptor's vision is taking form. And here we are again talking about this weekend of these Saturn themes, Saturn ruling forms and structures and manifestations as well. And we have the earth at the degree of the galactic center, which is like the source code point from which like all like wisdom and truth and like source code creative energy emanates from. And so with the earth at this degree, the sculptor's vision taking form, the galactic center, there is also a huge dimension of like wisdom and truth and creative potential coming through today. And with the moon, you know, as I was saying earlier, like restructuring and transforming transforming, reforming and transforming our internal states, our emotions, like into a greater alignment with the truth, the authentic truth of our soul as well. The moon in Aquarius ruling authenticity and the moon ruling our soul. Like these very deep and powerful transformations and reformations going on to help us align with the truth of our soul and get back like on a trajectory that allows us to tap that potential and really like activate our higher selves, activate our destiny, activate our potential, and come into a greater understanding and ability to maneuver and navigate and operate within the laws of this reality, and therefore co-create with God and universe, which is the ultimate like trajectory of where we're headed right now as we move into this age of Aquarius energy. But yeah, so with the earth today at that degree, like whatever challenges we may be dealing with right now, I do feel like they are for the purpose, like something is happening, like we are changing, the sculptor's vision is taking form, everything is going according to plan. We had Venus North Node yesterday, like things actually are lining up in a way that is most conducive to like healing our heart and liberating and freeing our heart to come back into alignment with our authentic truth and be able to attract and experience what brings like our heart and soul, this truest form of fulfillment also in this 222 year. Like that is what we are restructuring, reforming, transforming ourselves, metamorphing ourselves into at this point in time as a part of this transition into the age of Aquarius, like coming back into alignment with our authentic selves and everything that represents and the value that represents for us in terms of our ability to translate that into a truly fulfilling life and experience in service to the greater good and to humanity as well, right? Age of Aquarius, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But this weekend, with the way that this energy is playing out, again, I do just feel like there is a dimension of things sort of falling into place despite any difficulties that we may also be having to experience. This is also more of a big picture day. We're talking about the earth at the galactic center, like maybe in this wisdom and this truth, like maybe an ability to sort of see things from a higher perspective, and that also playing into this collective awakening and this restructuring and this transformation that is going on these deeper levels. But ultimately, this resistance and rebellion that this concept might be pushing us towards, leading us towards, or just like inspiring or driving us to pursue, seeking change within the Taurus themes, resources, finances, food, supply chains, like all of these financial issues and stuff like that as well. Like people may be really ready to create some type of change to, alleviate this pressure in one way or another. And also these shifting power and control dynamics, taking back power because of this authentic alignment and the value that represents, and like the way that changes our perception of ourselves, this awakening. And as a result of that, this sense of self-empowerment that also comes from this. Again, remember yesterday we had the moon coming into the conjunction with Pluto, representing transformations in alignment with a greater sense of self-empowerment. And that is, I feel like, this is like the consequence of these shifts and changes that we are experiencing right now is ultimately going to bring us to a much greater sense of personal self-empowerment. So that is the message, the energy that we have going on for Friday. We also have Mercury, the ruler of the cycle that we're in right now, the position of the sun, and in his home sign of Gemini in a sextile with Jupiter in Aries all weekend. So this is a very big information weekend all weekend as well. Information really might be like the driving force behind a lot of the changes that are going on, conversation, things we're learning, things we're talking about, news, that type of stuff may be playing a very significant role this weekend. And there may just generally be some very big news that is coming across our desk or that we are coming into contact with this weekend. Let's talk about Saturday now. On Saturday, this is when Venus is like really, really getting tight into the square with Saturn. Venus will be at 25 degrees, moving to 26 degrees overnight of Taurus. Saturn right now, retrograde, is at 26 degrees Aquarius. So Saturday, all day, we are probably likely to be feeling this Saturn-Venus square, and on Sunday as well. So Saturn and Venus together Saturn being retrograde, though, this is reevaluating the stability of our relationships generally, our relationship to our own self and our relationships that we experience in our external reality. We may feel as though who we are becoming now, who we are transitioning into, who we are transforming into, who we are restructuring our lives in our mind and just ourselves generally to become is no longer in alignment with our current relationships. Also Saturn, the ways that we are maturing, the ways that we are like gaining wisdom, and the ways that we are changing generally. Aquarius as well. Just we may feel like this weekend it just really no longer fits with our current relationships for one reason or another. And this can make us feel honestly like very lonely and very isolated, and like the type of lonely where it's like being around people doesn't help the situation. You know what I mean? It's like we are like internally lonely. It's like when we have Venus, ruling like relation and connection and intimacy essentially with other people, and Saturn, this is that being restricted and held back and limited. And the square aspect brings like tension and frustration and challenge and difficulty. Of course, it's for the purpose of a breakthrough. The purpose, I'll tell you guys right now, the purpose of this Saturn Venus square that we have going on this weekend is to help us gain a new understanding of what it is that we truly desire in relationships going forward based on the changes that are going on within us now. This is a restructuring of the relationships in our lives as well. So it's like Friday, we are sort of just in the midst of this like internal restructuring process and this internal transformation that's going on. But as we move into Saturday and Sunday, this is sort of bleeding out into our relationships, and we're sort of realizing that we're having a hard time maybe relating the same way that we always have to the current relationships and the structures of our ways of relating to others in our lives as they're set up at this point in time. And, maybe we are realizing that it's actually like keeping us from being able to experience like true forms of intimacy on these deeper levels. And maybe we need to make some big changes, some big reformations, Saturn retrograde, in terms of the types of relationships in our lives and the way that we are relating to others, maybe the boundaries that we have in relationships as well. So that we can have more rewarding and successful relationships in the future going forward. Saturn ruling rewards and success, Aquarius ruling the sign of the future. So this may be how Saturn and Venus in this dynamic are sort of playing out and making us feel this weekend, reevaluating the stability of our relationships and maybe feeling as though they don't fit us the same way that they used to. This can, again, make us feel emotionally isolated, and like we can no longer relate to others the same way that maybe we had in the past. But the thing is, this is a Saturn aspect. This is a Venus transit. Venus moves relatively quickly. This energy it's not going to be, we're not going to feel like this for like an extended period of time, like weeks and weeks. Like by the time that we get through this weekend to Monday, this energy, this feeling perhaps like emotionally isolated and unable to relate to people and stuff like that is likely to have like significantly passed. And we're likely, like, even if we're in the mode where we need to sort of change up the way that we're relating to people or the types of relationships in our lives, realizing maybe we have a more refined view of what we want in relationships or how we want to connect to people, or boundaries, this, that, the other, we were likely to be feeling more optimistic about bringing in these new relationships or our ability to connect with people who are more in alignment with us. Like, this is not like we're just always going to feel this way going forward. It's just a part of this change, this transformative process, and this energy will definitely shift. This is a good weekend though, you guys, to just sort of be by yourself. This is not a super like hyper socially active weekend. Being around, and like I was saying earlier, like being around others generally doesn't alleviate the feelings of loneliness that may come up in this energy. And it is really like the best way to spend this time when we have this transit going on, and especially again in the midst of the overall context of everything else that is going on. The best way a lot of times that we can spend this energy is in self-reflection, self-analysis, introspection, really using this time in this Saturn retrograde energy to figure out like, okay, like if this doesn't fit me anymore, if this isn't isn't bringing me pleasure anymore, if this is no longer what I desire in the way that I connect and relate to people, then like, what do I desire? Like, what do I want? What type of relationships do I want to have? What type of boundaries am I going to exert in relationships going forward? Like, how do I want to structure the social dynamics of the way I connect and relate with others and my intimate connections going forward? Like, that is a better way to sort of use this particular energy than to sort of get caught in like the woe is me, like I can't relate to anyone, like I'm all by myself, like I'm never going to be able to have connections again because I'm going through this process. Like, we don't want to be too overcritical, too judgmental, too harsh, too down on ourselves, especially you guys in that energy for Saturday. Because what I haven't said about Saturday yet is that we also have the moon going to be forming an exact conjunction to Saturn on Saturday, which I did say in my intro, but I haven't said specifically talking about Saturday yet. So, actually, of the 2 days, even though this aspect is coming exact on Sunday, Saturday is likely to be felt a bit more because, first of all, this energy is building, and also the moon is also making this aspect. And the moon is a trigger planet for energetics. So whenever, the moon is activating something, it's activating it to like even a higher level. And so with the moon also in the conjunction to Saturn, like again, this is in Saturn retrograde as well. This is us though, like really, really reconsidering our lives and our environment and the world that we've created for ourselves in the context of what is true and authentic to our soul. And then with the square to Saturn, also, relationships or financial dynamics as well, like ways that we are making money or the way that our environment is set up. Like this could also be like environmental issues or material comforts, material pleasures that are interfering in some type of a way with our ability to align with the truth of our soul. Like, it's all about getting in touch with an authentic alignment with who we really are and how we really feel, and being able to like have the freedom to express that and to create and to form and to manifest a worldly experience that supports that, like all of the Saturn influence. And with the Venus dynamic as well, it's like we want our environment to be bringing us a sense of pleasure and material comfort that is also in support of our soul's like truth. And our relationships, we want them to be bringing us this pleasure and to be to experience them in a way that we really, really desire and brings us fulfillment in alignment with our soul's truth. And like anything this weekend that is out of that alignment, that is bringing up like internalized feelings of angst or like pressure or tension or frustration as a result of things like not bringing us this pleasure or not bringing us this comfort, or the financial situations also, like I said, we are likely to really be sort of like resisting them, rebelling against them, and moving away from them, even if it brings up feelings of isolation and loneliness that we are simultaneously struggling with and not really comfortable in either. So sort of just like kind of like a more uncomfortable weekend all the way around, but definitely like a good time to spend in self-reflection, because the thing is, and this is what I was saying about the nature of this aspect generally, what we are learning in this process as we, sort of close ourselves off a little bit and like really think about what we want and what we want to experience and what we want to create, what we are learning through this process is likely to like greatly improve our relationships and our financial situations and our level of comfort and abundance and fulfillment generally when this transit is over. So it's like, we're sort of rearranging things internally in a way that is going to eventually lead to an external realignment that is in much more support of what really genuinely makes us happy and makes us feel good inside and makes us feel very, just like positive and like in love with ourselves and in love with our experience and like balanced and peaceful internally, Venus. Okay, so that's sort of how I'm reading this energy for this Venus-Saturn square that we have going on, also in the context of the moon on Saturday lining up with Saturn for this square. And it's also interesting because in the Sabian symbols for Saturday, we have the sun coming to 28 degrees of Gemini. And this, to me, this is like the starting over degree. This Sabian symbol is a man declared bankrupt, and this can go like two very different ways. We can perceive it through the more pessimistic lens of like, we've lost everything that we've built and everything that we've worked towards, we've had to surrender. But it's like, yes, because it wasn't working out, like it wasn't in alignment anymore, it wasn't paying off, like we need to rearrange things in some type of a way. So yes, we may be losing everything that we've built in the past, and we can attach to the negativity associated with that, but it's also giving us this brand new fresh start. It's also a rebirth and a recreation, and we can use the wisdom that we've gained from the past to really figure out how to do it right this time and how to produce something that really gives us what we want and can fulfill our needs, emotionally, physically, spiritually, materially, on like a soul-based level. That's what this is right now. So, we have this process. We may be sort of like at a point where we are starting over and maybe surrendering a lot of the things that we built in the past that are just like no longer, we can't work with them anymore for one reason or another. And this, again, could become in the form of relationships, things that we've been working on, like financial situations, projects, like stuff like that, or just the overall like nature of the structure of our world, of our environment. Saturn rules our relationship to the world around us, essentially. So, a fresh opportunity coming from a need to recreate ourselves at this point in time in one way or another. And you guys, on Saturday, we also have Mercury coming back to the degree where he originally stationed retrograde this time around, leaving his shadow. So we are officially out of Mercury retrograde energy as of this weekend, you guys, coming back on Saturday to 5 degrees of Gemini. That Sabian symbol is a radical magazine or publication displaying a sensational front page, calling for action again, like this degree, big news, big information that we are learning, hearing, communicating, seeing, something that may be really changing things for us in some way or inspiring us to act in one way or another. So Mercury coming back to that degree, and the information, the forward movement should really be kind of flowing at this point in time. Let's talk now about the energy that we have going on for Sunday. Sort of like more of the same on Sunday, as we still have this Saturn, Venus influence very strong in the sky. And another thing that we have playing out on Sunday, though, the moon will be moving into Pisces. So this is a definite shift from the Aquarius vibes that we had going on the past couple of days. The moon is now moving into the sign of Pisces on Sunday. So this should actually sort of like chill us out a little bit and sort of take the pressure off, but it may also simultaneously cause more of a desire on Sunday to sort of escape from our problems, avoid conversations, avoid dialogues, like avoid facing the more serious, important stuff that we may have been dealing with this weekend. And this is because of that Pisces influence. A lot of times causes us to want to avoid or escape more challenging aspects of reality, but also the moon will be in the sign of Pisces, forming a square to Mercury in Gemini. Mercury in his home sign of Gemini, Mercury ruling the cycle that we are in right now, the lunar cycle that we are in right now. So there may definitely be some issues coming up, and us like really having a need to speak our emotions or speak our feelings, talk about our feelings in some type of way that can either lead to some type of conflict or some type of conflict happening that is resulting in a need for us to really be like talking about how we feel in one way or another. And this could have a lot to do with this Saturn square Venus influence that is playing out right now. Like Sunday, after sitting in this energy, building it to a Friday, like Saturday, like really having an intensification of it, like we may be needing to or avoiding having some difficult conversations about needing to make some changes, some reformations, some restructures in this state of our relationships or of our financial dynamics and situations or of like our partnership situations as well. That may be sort of what is going on Sunday, like this energy that we are in on Friday, like these transformations transformations and this like internal just shift that is happening inside of us, leading into the energy of Saturday, where we're sort of like, okay, I'm shifting, and now like I kind of need the world around me and my relationships and stuff to shift too, because they're just not really feeling good to me anymore, and I'm not really enjoying them, and I need to do something about it. And then on Sunday we might be like, but I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to address it, I know you may be upset with me because I've been kind of cold and lacking affection. You know, Saturn in a square to Venus, like people may not be very lovey-dovey this weekend. There definitely may be a little bit of chill out in the romance department of life, and people may be like kind of like confused about that as well. Like that could also be causing issues when people are just inherently feeling like a little less affectionate, like a little more emotionally cold, like a little less able to like attach and connect and relate. And then, you know, the like impact, the consequence of that is then like people feeling more like, what is going on? Like, why aren't you relating to me? And then sort of like projecting those feelings, it can like sort of build on itself, I guess is what I'm saying. And then maybe in the energy for Sunday, we're having to sort of address that. And maybe we don't really want to address it because maybe we don't know even what to say. I mean, the moon in Pisces squaring Mercury, our mind, in the sign of Gemini, like maybe we're a little confused. Like maybe we are kind of in a little bit of an illusion or delusion about what we even want to do or the choice or decision that we want to make. Maybe we're really questioning things as well about the way that we feel about restructuring these relationships as this energy is playing out on Sunday. Because I mean, the moon and Mercury in a square, this is a conflict going on between our mind and our emotions, between like our rational intellect and what we think and, you know, what would logically be the thing to do and how we're feeling. And there's a tendency when there's a moon and square to Mercury to sort of have our clear logical mind sort of clouded, especially in the sign of Pisces, by just like these disoriented emotions. So there could just be like some maybe, and you know, this could be like over fantasizing or over idealizing something, or just being in a little bit, like I said, of like an illusion or delusion of something that maybe is causing a conflict with our ability to perceive the logical choice or the logical decision and what we need to do to restructure properly at this point in time. So this could be creating a little bit of confusion in the field, I feel like, that we may be experiencing and dealing with in the energy for Sunday as a result of this Venus square Saturn that's going on. And maybe us, you know, like I've said, like realizing that we are just not happy in our current relationships and we need to make some changes, but also being a little bit confused about how to do that, or, you know, maybe like getting caught in like some memories or some fears of loss that are interfering with our ability to create or to have like a logical or make like a logical choice or decision about like genuinely like what is in our best interest moving forward. So, you know, this, a need to speak our mind, though, a need to talk about our feelings when we have this aspect playing out, mental and emotional conflicts and issues. Again, we may feel a bit like caught between the practical, also like Mercury and Gemini, and like, this like more like logical frame of mind, and also like the possible, like, yes, but maybe it's possible that they could change. Like, I know that I'm not happy in this relationship and I know I really need to change some things, but then in the energy for Sunday, maybe feeling like, yes, but maybe, you know, maybe they can change, and maybe if we do it this way, it'll be better, and maybe this, or maybe this, or maybe this, like maybe seeing things through a bit more idealistic lens and rose-colored glasses from the emotional level, interfering with our ability to make like the practical, reasonable choice that is actually going to benefit us. So that may be a little bit of what we are struggling with, dealing with on Sunday. And again, as I said, like a desire to like avoid or escape difficult conversations may also be something that we're dealing with, or just generally like avoid having to deal with a challenge that is being presented through these square aspects, and specifically the Saturn-Venus square. But again, ultimately, like what we get out of this will be very valuable. It's a challenging day likely on Sunday, and it's funny too because the Sabian symbol of the degree of the Earth on Sunday at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, like what's happening on the ground, the Sabian symbol is a fat boy mowing the lawn. So, you know, this is telling me Like, you know, it may be a bit of a challenge, but we just need to push through because we are getting a job done. And Mercury, ruler of this cycle, remember, also in a sextile to Jupiter all weekend, this big information as well. Workmen drilling for oil, you know, so again, like we may be really putting in some work this weekend, but what we are getting is going to be ultimately very valuable, a valuable resource to help us come back into the state of self-empowerment and really begin to play a stronger role in creating the course of our lives consciously going forward. Mercury, workmen drilling for oil, valuable, deep also information, conversations, communications that need to happen, but they may just be a little bit of a challenge. We may have to put in a little more work than we really want to, but like what we get ultimately from this energy this weekend is going to be pretty valuable. And lastly, the exact degrees where we have this Venus-Saturn square going on, Venus at 26 degrees of Taurus, that Sabian symbol is a Spaniard serenading his senorita. And then Saturn retrograde at 26 Aquarius, that Sabian symbol is a garage man testing a car's battery with a hydrometer. So I feel like the Sabian symbol placement of these two planets as they are playing out, I feel like this is sort of universe right now testing us to see what we really want, what gives us energy, what powers our battery, what makes us go, what can really get us to our destination. What is the song of our heart, and where are we at right now, and what is the state and the nature of the things in our physical, tangible world, environment, reality around us, and are they in alignment with that Spaniard serenading the senorita, with the song of our heart, and do they give us the power that we need to get to our destination, the car's battery, cars take us where we want to go, like testing the car's battery, how much gas, like how much power, how much horsepower are we getting out of the current like relationships and the way that our environment is, like how much power is that giving us in terms of heart-based alignment that is allowing us to magnetize and attract and go in the direction of what will truly help us activate that destiny, activate that potential, ultimately bring us to a place where we are serving ourselves, serving the greater good of humanity, and attracting and receiving our heart and soul's like truest forms of fulfillment. So that is what I really see playing out in the energy as it is presenting to us this weekend. Again, like I do feel like this is another sort of just like important weekend in whatever shifts and changes are happening inside of us that are helping us to rebirth, recreate ourselves essentially in alignment with what is really going to help us go to the next level of our own experience as we are transitioning ages right now, moving into the age of Aquarius, this 222 years. So that's what I have to say, you guys, for this weekend. I am going to draw us a synchronicity card now, just to get a little bit of advice from God and Spirit that may help to guide us through our experiences this weekend. And I just find these cards are, oh, there's one, just generally very helpful in helping us to stay on track in the energy. Okay, so this card that came out, it says persist. Okay. Because of his persistence, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find it. Knock and it will be opened to you. Luke 11:8-9. Nothing is too large or too small, and your persistence in believing in God's ability to provide whatever it is you seek will bring you to your goal. Persistence, waiting, patience, and never failing faith will lead you to your goal. And with all of the Saturn influence again this weekend, you guys, like I feel like this is a perfect message. Persistence would definitely also be a very Saturnian quality. And again, like what we are doing this weekend, like these changes that are underway, like the transformations that are going on, the restructures, the reformations, the transformations, it is all for the purpose of bringing us into a vibration that can help us to truly attract and align with our goals and our dreams, and activating our highest potential and going to the next level of this experience. And I feel like this is the perfect advice coming, you know, in the face of what, again, may be more of a challenging weekend where maybe we have to put in a little bit, you know, more work to sort of keep ourselves on track. persistence, persisting, and just, knowing and trusting that what is happening is actually happening to align us with situations that are going to be much, much, much more suited to us, make us much more happy, and bring our heart like a much greater sense of comfort and peace going forward. So that's what we have today, you guys. Persist. Message from the stars as well. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of whatever you need to get through this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested and like this video too. I have a Facebook page, you guys, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. Also, you guys, I forgot to say, leave me comments. I absolutely love your comments, and I absolutely really truly love and appreciate all of you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. We have a summer solstice coming up that we need to talk about. Longest day of the year. The sun will be entering Cancer, and a full new week of astrology, and I'm sure there will be a lot going on, so you don't want to miss it. I will be here. You should be here too, and have a beautiful weekend, everybody, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.